Hey, MelaninMedia, what's up? So today we're gonna be rating Genre Sad Boy by Trippie Redd and Machine Gun Kelly. It's an EP that was released on March 29th. There's 10 songs, 27 minutes, very short. I'm gonna tell you what songs I liked, how I feel, what's going on, and then I'll give you a rating. So let's get into it. So my first question when I was listening to this album was, is Trippie Redd actually a sad boy, or is he playing into an aesthetic? Cause sure, he might have been sad back in the day, but is he actually sad, or is he just staying up to date with his fan base? Cause if that's the case, he needs to cut it out. We're done. Cause this album, no. I like 2 Machine Gun Kelly songs, period. Was this something I was expecting from Trippie Redd? I don't think anyone was expecting this. But is it okay? Yeah. What did Kanye say? He said, I like the Gaga songs, but what she know about cameras? I'm gonna leave it at that. Does Machine Gun Kelly like black people? This is a good question. Keep that in mind. Okay, let's get into the songs. So, I liked 5 out of 10 songs. And liked is an overstatement. I could tolerate them. I did like at least 2 for real, but I added at least 5 to my liked songs. Not to any playlist or anything like that, just to like songs at the moment. So we have Lost Boys, Time Travel, Suddenly, Half Dead, and Hiding in the Hills. Those are the songs I liked. Let's get a little bit deeper into that. So Lost Boys was definitely giving me teen romance, star shopping, Little Peep vibes. I don't know if Trippie Redd was going for those vibes, but he reached it. I was like, oh, that's different. That's new. You know, good for him. Yeah. Hiding in the Hills. When I think of The Hills, any song with The Hills in it, my first thought goes to The Weeknd. Was it giving The Weeknd vibes? Obviously not. It wasn't. So I was just disappointed. Was that my fault for thinking that? Probably. But I blame him. Because why would he do that to us? To us. Yeah, to us. So, how did we feel? The EP as a whole, 5 out of 10. And that's being generous. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Not great. Not good. At all. Definitely not Trippie's best work. I might be a little biased because I'm a Life's a Trip and a Love Letter to You for girly. So of course this wasn't hitting. A lot of his music hasn't been hitting. I'm a old Trippie fan, not into his newer stuff, and that makes me sad. But I think it's more nostalgic because of like most of the songs we were listening to in high school and getting into it and whatnot. But yeah, I did not like this EP. I hope he does better in the future. I don't want to see him, Machine Gun Kelly in anything new. Because anything I learned about him has been against my will. Why is he with that woman? Why does he have a ring he can't take off? Are they divorced? You tell me. Leave a comment down below. Tell me, are they divorced? Tell me if Machine Gun Kelly likes black people. And tell me that you love the old Trippie Redd. So, yeah. Thanks, MelaninMedia. Love you guys. So fine. Mwah. See you next time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to MelaninMedia Slice of Insight, where we will be leaving you with food for thought from Black history. I'm Aaliyah.
And I'm Carmina.
Did you know that 56 years ago today, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated? King is most known for his work in civil rights, but some forget that he was just a young man. There are many things about him that most people don't know. For example, King's real name was Michael. His father was inspired by Protestant Martin Luther and changed his son's name to reflect this. King went to Morehouse College at age 15, meaning he skipped 2 grades and graduated at age 19 with a bachelor's in sociology. He returned to school to get a doctorate at Boston University, where he met his wife Coretta and joined Alpha Pi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. King loved pool and played for more than 20 years. He was also an avid fan of Star Trek and called himself a Trekkie in 1964. King became the youngest at the time to receive a Nobel Peace Prize.
Moneta Sleet Jr. was the first Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer. He was born in Owensboro, Kentucky, and gifted a box camera from his parents early in life. This marked the beginning of Sleet's lifelong love for photography. He attended Western High School, where he joined the camera club. After graduating, Sleet attended Kentucky State University, where he continued his passion for photography. He then served in World War II, and after his service, he returned to Kentucky State to obtain his business degree. Following his university graduation, Sleet continued his education at New York University, where he received his master's degree in journalism in 1950. He worked for multiple African-American publications over the course of his career. Most notably, he worked for Johnson Publishing Company, the parent company of Ebony and Jet magazines. One of Sleet's many assignments was to cover Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Sleet covered King up until his assassination in 1968. Sleet's image of Coretta Scott King won the Pulitzer Prize for feature photography in 1969. This made Sleet the first Black man to receive a Pulitzer Prize in any field.
Alvin Sykes was a self-taught legal defender that worked on Emmett Till's case. Born in 1956, Sykes was raised in Kansas City by his foster mother, Bernetta Page. Page noticed her son's interests and encouraged him through books, magazines, and music. Page felt that the neighborhood was unsafe for Sykes and sent him to a school for at-risk youth. He later attended Sumner High School in Kansas City, Kansas. At 16, Sykes left school and spent his days at the Kansas City Public Library. He studied books on music, business, math, and eventually law. "I transferred to the public library," he said. Sykes graduated a self-taught legal scholar and crusader who worked through the justice system on behalf of minorities and the poor. In 1981, he sought justice for Steve Harvey, a black jazz musician who was beaten to death by a white man. Sykes formed the Steve Harvey Justice Campaign and convinced the U.S. Department of Justice that Harvey's civil rights had been violated. The case was tried in U.S. District Court, where Harvey's killer was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. Sykes rose to national prominence in the early 2000s when he took up the Emmett Till case. Sykes successfully lobbied for the creation of the Emmett Till Unsolved Civil Rights Crime Act. The Till Bill, as it was known, provided funding to reopen investigations of racially motivated homicides committed during the civil rights era.
John Barry Meekum created a floating freedom school. Meekum was born in Virginia as an enslaved person in 1789. Meekum was moved to Kentucky, where he learned several trades, including carpentry. By the time Meekum was 21, he earned enough money to buy his freedom. He also bought his father's freedom and sought to buy his wife's freedom. Before he could reach his wife, she was moved to St. Louis. He followed her there and bought her freedom. In St. Louis, Meekum met Jason Peck, who helped him create the first African Baptist church. This church was used to provide education to Black Missourians. In 1847, Missouri banned Black people from receiving an education. Meekum responded by equipping a steamboat with a library, desks, and chairs. He opened this floating freedom school on the Mississippi River beyond the reach of Missouri officials. Thank you for tuning in this Slice of Insight. Now we'll turn it over to Rosie for That's Hot.
See you next time, Jayhawks.
National champions deserve a clean campus. Don't wait for other Jayhawks to pick up your mess. Keep the University of Kansas clean.
Good morning! Welcome to Slow Drip, everybody!
Good evening, KU. We have really warm conditions right now, but right now that we do have a frost advisory that'll be happening later on into the night. And then because of that, we do also have a low pressure system that's active right now. Right now it's in the west coast, and then that will over the next couple of days start to turn over into the Midwest. And then because of that, as a direct result of that, we will also see some pretty heavy cloud coverage for that day of the solar eclipse. Here's a live look right now of Lawrence. As you see, it's sunny, it's warm outside, and there's really no clouds in the sky right now. Because if there is no clouds, that does cause our temperatures to be really warm right now. This whole viewing area is within the range of the upper 50s, somewhere even making it into the 60s as well. And because of the time, it's about 5:30, almost 6 p.m., so we will see our temperatures start to drop from this moment on. The sun will start to set sometime between 7:30 and 8 p.m., and then that's when we'll really see our temperatures start to take a dip. We do reach our low tonight of about 33 degrees, and we do also have clear skies with those cool temperatures, and then that wind coming out of the north as well at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So because of that, we do also have a frost advisory from tonight at about 2 a.m. until 9 a.m. early tomorrow morning. Now, speaking of tomorrow, we do see those temperatures quickly jump back up into the middle 60s, and that doesn't come without some wind for us as well. We do have that wind out of the east at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and then also our wind gusts coming in at about 20 miles per hour as well. As I mentioned before, there is that low pressure system right now that is off near California, and over the next couple of days that will migrate to the Midwest, and that will bring some rain for us on either Saturday, and then also Sunday morning. And then afterwards, that will continue making its way to the East Coast, which will result in some pretty heavy cloud coverage for that day of totality for the solar eclipse. So the area of totality is just this thin band, and that's when they'll get to see the full solar eclipse. For us here in Lawrence, we only get a partial eclipse, but we do also have some pretty sunny skies, mostly sunny skies, for us on Monday as well. So that does work in our favor. Afterwards, we do get really, really warm conditions as we make our way into the next week, which is really, really pleasant, especially for this time of year. Afterwards, we will see the ladies of That's Hot.
Guys, welcome back to this very new segment that we like to call That's Hot. I'm Band Rosie, and unfortunately, you guys just get me today, so congratulations. Alrighty, so today we are going to talk about a little controversy that's happening within the hip-hop community. You know, a little song, a little twang. We're witnessing history right now as we see 3 artists, 3 rappers go head to head in dissing and disrespecting each other within somebody else's album. Now, this isn't just a normal diss track. This isn't just a normal verse. It's not like that old get up on your good foot type beat, because I don't know what that was. But what I would like to talk about today is Metro Boomin's new album, We Don't Trust You. Now, Metro Boomin came out with this album recently, and it consists of the very featured artists, Future, The Weeknd, Playboi Carti, Travis Scott, and we can't forget the star of this show, Kendrick Lamar. Now, I know most of you don't know much about what's going on. I mean, you might be living under a rock, but just to give you a little feature of what's going on, I'm gonna give you a little something. So, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, he appeared in a song that was titled Like That. It featured Future, of course Metro Boomin, and then Kendrick Lamar had a verse on the track. And there was a few verses on there that was a little controversy. So the first one I would like to notify is F sneak dissing, first person shooter, hope they came with 3 switches. And then once we heard this verse, we obviously knew that Kendrick Lamar was talking about Drake and J. Cole. The reason why we know that, Drake and J. Cole came out with a song called First Person Shooter when they were talking about like, who's the GOAT, who's the GOAT, who's the GOAT. Kendrick already said, you already know who it is. Like, there's no competition, no hearsay, no nothing. Don't play with him. A few other notable verses that he talked about was Prince, and Prince outlived Mike Jack. Now, the reason why this verse is so spectacular is because Michael Jackson, he didn't live that long. I think he died in the early 2000s. While Prince did outlive him, Michael Jackson was a very popular artist, but he obviously didn't outlive Prince, which is very well known. And the last one I would like to notify is Mother Effer, Big 3, and It's Just Big Me. Now this notified him as the legend, the GOAT of the GOAT. Do not put anything above him. Like, you can't put Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar in the same, you can't put them on the same pedestal because you already know who's on top. He was establishing his dominance, and obviously with the audience's reaction, he won. So I would like to say, like, he did his big one with this one, okay? Now, once this album was released, Metro Boomin went onto X and he tweeted, once you pick a side, you stay there. And the moment he said that got the girls shaking in their boots, because the moment that he started saying that, celebrities started picking sides and the whole A-list celebrity started partying like the Red Sea. Now, I would like to talk about who's on whose sides, and you guys can debate with me in the comments, argue with your mama about it. But still, on Metro Boomin's side, we have Kendrick Lamar, obviously, Future, The Weeknd, and it's a little surprising about The Weeknd because ain't he from Toronto? Ain't he signed over to OVO? Ain't he with Drake? But we also have Travis Scott. We have Nas, which I didn't even know he was still in the game. I thought he was retired. And a little controversial one is Party Next Door. Now, Party, you guy. You know, I'm not gonna speak about that. This is a nice little TV show. Next up, we got Drake. Let's see who's on Drake's side. J. Cole, 21 Savage, which is very surprising about 21 Savage because he did a collaboration album with Metro Boomin, yet he still decided to stay on Drake's side. That's a little crazy in my opinion. Like, you can't be playing both sides. Like, you can't be on you ain't gonna be on the person who was with you since day one. We see how you is, 21. We see you. The next one is Sexy Red, Yeet, and I also put Party Next Door over here too because, you know, Canadians, they love to stick together. Look, Canadians, they be thicker than thieves. But can we talk about Playboy, Party Next Door real quick? Cause that was my signal not to talk about him no more. Moving on. I would like to say at the end of the day, my opinion, I can't choose between these two sides. On one hand, we've been listening to Drake since literally out the womb. We've seen him make iconic movements from the old Drake. I miss the old Drake. I miss Fancy. I miss Light It Up. I miss Marvin's Room. You guys are not going to be topping that. That's iconic. But on the other hand, though, we got to talk about Metro Boomin, because Metro Boomin's coming onto the scene and he's making his big one. He's literally the puppet master of this whole thing, yet he's doing it correctly. When you make a disrespectful album about somebody, you do it right. You make it catchy. You make it good. And what Metro Boomin did featuring Kendrick Lamar and having Future be on the face of it, he did his big one with this. Now, I don't know if you guys know this. The one thing I'm going to say finally about Metro, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'm going to shoot you. And personally, I'm with Young Metro on this one because I ain't trying to get it out of here. So at the end of the day, these three rappers, these artists are making a big impact within the community, and they're getting people engaged, they're getting people excited. We love the fact that they're actually making movements. Even if it's a little controversy, we love the fact that people are noticing them. We're loving the fact that artists are getting noticed for their creativity, their play-by-plays. And you know, at the end of the day, it's just all fun and games. Like, we already know who's going to be impacting this community. So why don't they just have a little fun with it? They only live once, you know? I'm trying to think, what else do I need to say? I mean, I would recommend everybody listen to the whole album once, because while Like That was very good, I'm gonna have to say Slime's In, and what else? Also, We Don't Like You. Like, those were probably my top songs. Like, it was pretty good. I would just say the beat and the lyrics, it hit different. If there's anything else that I have to say, I think I'm going to cut it off for today. Thank you so much for tuning into this solo episode of That's Hot. I'm Van Rosie, and thank you for tuning into Melanin Media. You guys have a good night, Jayhawk. Bye.